welcome back to another video. Please pardon the background noise. This is New York City, but today, since I'm growing into plants, I bet you guys are into plants because plants are beautiful, they're cute, they give you oxygen, they give you vibes, It just makes you feel a little less dead during quarantine or whatever, sitting in your room all alone, if you're like me. But okay, anyway, that got deep. We're gonna make some plant hangers. It's really easy. You only need I just got this twine off of Amazon for $5. Put it right here. And then I use this measuring tape, but you don't really even need this, to be honest. And some scissors, and it's super quick and easy. I made 2 of them. I made it a couple different ways, but you'll see how I did it because this twine is a little bit thinner. I doubled it up in my version, but if you get a thicker rope, you could just do it one strand, and you'll see what I mean by that. But okay, let's get into it. Okay, so what you're gonna need for this video is some basic twine and a pair of scissors, and I used this kind of fashion measuring tape. And so the first thing you're gonna do is take your twine, and I just put it at the start of the measuring tape and held it there, and then pulled the twine the length of the measuring tape. You can make this a lot longer if you want to. It just depends on how far you want your plant to hang. If you want it to have a really long hanger or a shorter one. This one's rather short. It ends up hanging about 1.5 feet. So you can see I just pulled all the way the length. It was about 60 inches, and it'll be half of that because we'll flip it over. But so I cut it there. My scissors were a little dull, but it works. And then at this point you're done with the measuring tape. You can just use the same length of this piece that you have to get them all the same length. And so I just grabbed the tips, put them together, and then pulled out some more twine. I pulled the length to make sure they're the same length, and instead of cutting it, I just flipped it over. I decided I could cut them all at the end. And once I got to the other end, I did the same thing. I just grabbed it and flipped it over and made sure to hold it so the length would stay there. Again, pulling it all the way through and flipping it over. So normally with this project, if you have a thicker rope, you can do, I think it would just be this last time, you would only need 4 strings. But I decided I wanted to double it. So I did 8 total because this twine was a little bit thinner. So right now I counted and I have, I think, 5 right there. I decided to just pause and cut them all, and grab the other side and cut them. And I was counting to see how many I'd need left. guess at this point I had my 8 strings so that it would be doubled. And then what you do is you're gonna kind of double the whole thing. So you're gonna first pull the ends together and have a loop at the other side. So just kind of fold it over and make sure the ends are just about even and hold them together. And then where the loop is on the other side, you're just gonna do a basic knot. You could do this through a little metal loop if you want, but I'm okay just hanging it right by the twine, so I just made sure to leave a little bit of a big loop so that I could clip it on to whatever I needed to, and made a tie. And so then what I would do is kind of way down that end so I could start making the knots. And I started separating these out. So if I had just done the 4 strands doubled, this would be 8, so it would be 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, but since I doubled it, I'm going to separate them into 4, so 4 sections of 4, so it's 16 each. It sounds kind of mathy and complicated, but it's not. Just 4, 4, and 4, and then you tie. So each of those 4, you're going to start by grabbing the first strand. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I went about 4 inches down. Again, this will depend on how long you want them, and just tie all of them into a knot with itself. And then you do this on each of the 4 strands. Okay, so I wanted a little more room to show you. So what we're going to do now is separate each of these 4 sections into 2, because we're going to tie them together to make a little bit of a design. So you take 2 from the first 2 and put those together, and you're going to make a knot. I did about another 4 inches down. You grab 2 of each section and just make a knot with itself, tie them together. And I needed a little bit more room, so I just pulled it a little bit further away. You could hook that onto something, that loop, while you do this, and grab the next 2 pieces of each, and then you'll grab those the same, try to keep them all the same length. That'll help it be even in the end. And you tie those 2 together. Okay, so after you've done these last 3, you're going to do this last knot of the outermost sections and tie them together, and just again try to make sure that it's the same length or in the same position as the other knots within that row. And it's just a basic knot, so once you tighten that, that's it, and we'll take it off. And there's just one more knot we're going to do at the end. Again, the positioning will depend on how you want the plant to hang, so you can kind of customize that, but just grab all of the strands together, loop it, and pull through to make just a simple knot, and that'll hang underneath the plant. Okay, so once you have your plant, the easiest kind of way is to sit it, to take that big knot and to kind of just sit it on there at first, and then to start pulling the strands around. This could be kind of tricky depending on which plant, if it has a lot of hanging pieces, but just be gentle and take your time to make sure you're not hurting it too much. And separate them and let the leaves come through. And usually at the bottom they have, most pots have these kind of, well, if you use the plasticky ones, but they have these kind of notches that actually fit perfectly into the strands. So you can use those. And once you kind of start pulling it up, you'll see like where it's lopsided, and you can just adjust it a little bit more. And this is the final product. This is what it looks like. I really like how it turned out. It's simple. I like the little knots, and I like it better doubled up. You can see, I'll show you the other one in a second, and that's with the single strands, but yeah. Yay! Okay, so I hope you guys like the video, and let me know, put pictures in the comments how it turns out for you. So yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more DIY cheapo content, because that's what we do over here. Bye!